Hi, this is Charlie Rose. Today we're going to be learning about how we can take our SketchUp drawing that we did for a client's kitchen and send that to the LayOut software so that we can present the information to the client in a very easy and dynamic method. You could simply take this and do a screenshot of it and save it that way. That's certainly fine. It depends on what level of detail you want to do, what level of presentation you want to. But I'm going to show you a real easy tool that we all have with the SketchUp license that we downloaded whenever we did the SketchUp. It's called SketchUp Layout. Excuse me. So we'll go through that and showing it here too. Hopefully, prior to watching this, you've watched the 3 other videos. The one is the introduction on why we should be using advanced SketchUp. The second one was also an introduction video to the SketchUp template. This is the end result of having used that template. And then the third video was designing a kitchen using the new SketchUp template. So this video is going to show us how to take that finished product and send it over to Layout. So first I'm going to do is I brought this up. The thing that's always going to prompt or want you to do is to save it first. So I'm going to go ahead and save this particular file. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to send it to Layout. So if you go over here to Edit, you'll see an option that says Send to Layout. So I'm going to click on that. And it'll take just a moment, but it'll bring up Layout. And then when Layout comes up, it's going to prompt me for a template. What kind of template do I want to use? So here, SketchUp is starting up the Layout. And I went ahead and we created a template that we've used. We've done a couple of different iterations. We feel like this one probably is pretty close to where we want it to be. That there's no noticeable changes that come to mind. It does give us a couple of different options. So as it's bringing it up, you can see here, these are some of the templates that we've played around with, created. We're going to use Shelf Genie template 6. The reason for the 6 is it has 6 different pages to it, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So now I'm bringing up, it's connecting the file that we just created with the new SketchUp template, the practice kitchen, and it's bringing it over here to Layout. So it does take a moment to do that. So I recommend that you have this done if you're doing it in the client's home, which is what I do. Do it ahead of time so that you've got this ready to go. So if I look to the right-hand side, you've got, similar to what we showed in SketchUp, you've got the default tray that's over here. There's 2 particular menus or different screens that we're going to work in the default tray. One is the SketchUp model, so you want to make sure that's open. And then the other is the pages, because that's going to help us to determine which ones we want to print. If I just quickly go through, now all of these little vignettes, these windows that are here are linked to the scenes. So it's a particular scene that it's showing. So this one happens to be the full designer view that it matches up to, and it's a full page. So this is just the full entirety of the page. If we look at this page and break it down a little bit more, what we did when we created this template is we put our Shelf Genie logo here at the bottom. I'll scan in to show you. We put a video in here that is just a video of a client's kitchen. And we've set it up also to be to go to a video YouTube link that kind of shows a Shelf Genie kitchen where a client can kind of get to see and feel for that kitchen in action. Then just a little note section here, then you can type in and key in whatever you want. Our particular location, you can change that to match your website there for your particular location. And then also the client information. And what's neat about the client information, if you come in here and you click on it, it's going to be outlined in the red box. You want to double click inside of it to be able to change the client's name. So if we just change that to test, for example, I'll just say test client and enter that, and then we can do the same thing for address, phone number, etc. The thing about the address is when you do it, it's just a silly formatting thing. I don't know why that's the case there, but I'll show you. Let me get it on here. Let me get it off. There we go. Oh, with the client information, you see it kind of did something funny. That's because I hit enter. So don't hit enter after you type in the name because that'll mess it up. All right. Hold on here. There we go. And then the address, when you do the address, you do want to hit enter. So the street address, and then after that, hit enter and do the city and state and zip code and stuff there too. Phone number, email, all that stuff for the client so that you can have that. But what's nice about this is as I zoom back out, center this up, that information is going to carry over to each of the other pages. So we've got multiple pages that are here. Um, Page 2 has 4/4 that are shown. Page 3 has 2/4 and then one right side tall half. And these are different scenes in the SketchUp kitchen that we just did. Page 4 is 2/2. This is good if you've got a pantry that you're showing. You can show it from two different perspectives. Page 5 shows you 2/4 and a wide half on the bottom. And then page 6 just shows you two wide halves. Now, by no means, I've never come across an occasion where I needed to print out all 6 pages. Typically, it's one page, maybe 2 pages at most. I don't think I've ever sent out more than 2 pages or printed out more than 2 pages for a client, because usually the scenes you have are going to cover that. So if you look at this, when it comes over, it's already naturally here. There's some scenes that need to be adjusted. Obviously, we don't want to send a picture of the floor to the client or print that out. But what's nice about it is it's very easy to make changes, because one of the frustrating things and how I discovered this is that my frustration was that when I went to SketchUp, and if I did a screenshot of this with the drawers open and showed the client, and then they decided they wanted to change it. So I'd already put this into my Word file, and I'd have to take it out and change it. So it didn't allow easy changing. What LayOut does is it allows you to easily change that. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So page 2 is the one that I use most commonly that has the 4/4. I like this one here with the full kitchen. This one's not bad at the stove, but I need to show something to the left of the sink, to the right, or excuse me, to the left of the refrigerator. So let's pull those in. So here's how it works. If I click on it, it's going to highlight in blue. And then under the SketchUp model, it shows me scene options. So I want to change this one to be underneath the sink. So this one, we want to get a picture more of this area. So if I click on this, highlighted in blue, I'm going to go to the scenes and I'm going to pick the one that says sink side. That's the one we created in the earlier video. So now you can see it's sink side. So I've got the sink side, I've got both the left and right of the stove. Let's look at the one left of the refrigerator. So let's click on here and put it into this particular one, and we'll call it, or not call it, we'll find the correct one, left of refrigerator, and that'll pop in there too. So what's really neat about it, there's a couple of different features. One of the first things that I'll show you is that if I look at the full designer one here, what I can do is if I double click on that particular one, now you'll see that the orbiting tool pops up. This is the same functionality as what's shown in SketchUp. I can take this and I can move and look around. And that's the feature that we didn't have the ability when you're just taking snapshots. I can zoom in, I can pan, I can do a lot of different things. Some of the same shortcut tools there too. But I'm going to go ahead and put it back out to full designer view and get it to where I want there too. And then if I want to just scroll in a little bit, slide it up, I can do that. So that's another nice feature that I like there. So you're probably going to like that particular aspect, but to me, that's not the most beneficial. So one of the things here is when I do something like this, I want to be able to show the cabinets open, what's coming out, what's going to be used there from the standpoint of how we've designed that space. So what I'm going to do next is go back over to this one. We're going to go through some of the scenes, and let's look at sink side, for example. And I'm going to use my interact tool. And I'm going to open this up and get these drawers out, because that's really, I think, when it shows itself off and when you can start to see what it's going to do. Let's look at right and left of stove. We'll go over here and do the left stove first. We're going to open this all out. Right of stove, we want to do, right of stove, we're not going to do it because we're going to focus on the left of refrigerator. So we don't want all that overlapping. It's going to get a little messy if we do that. So let's show here, but I think we can explain to the client how the one on the right is going to be similar to the one on the left in terms of the blind corner pieces. All right, so that gets us those, and we're going to go back to the full view. We don't have to, but I'm just kind of showing you what it looks like as a whole. And now I'm going to click Save again. Once I've clicked Save, what it does is, because this is linked to LayOut, when we go over to LayOut, and we go to update it, I want to show you what's going to happen. So if I right click on any of the screens or any of the vignettes that are open here, if I right click on it, oops, let me get out of it. Let me slide that down here. Get on another one. We don't want to be actually able to, we want the screen or the vignette to be green or blue. We don't want it to where we're actually operating and orbiting and or panning and stuff in there too. Then you're going to right click and you're going to click Update Model Reference. When you update the model reference, what you'll notice, it takes a little bit of time here, but it's going to come in and it's going to activate all of the different drawers. So you can see here where it's opened up everything. Now, if you want to change the view slightly, because here in the full designer view, I don't quite like that as much now that all the drawers are, I want to see it a little bit better. So maybe I can zoom out, slide it over, and start to twist it around. And that gives a good perspective of what you're going to see as an overall. I can do the same thing down here if I click in the area that's the sink side. Let's just pan it where you can see it a little bit better. Okay, I'm actually capturing some of the corner, nothing wrong with that. This one, if I want to do something different here, I can do the same thing. I mean, so you guys get the point. We can just rotate this around and shift it and slide it and do other things that's going to allow us the opportunity to be able to see that. So now that I've got all of these here, I can simply save it. I'll just do this file and save it as, we're going to call it the practice kitchen again. You see I've already got the SketchUp file that's right here below it and the SketchUp backup file. So it's now saved as a layout. You don't want to upload this layout picture into Wish Portal because it's still a decent sized file. So what I recommend you do here is you just come in and you export it. When you export it out, export it as a PDF. And when you export it as a PDF, I call it the same thing, but what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select the pages. So here, I'm only doing page 2. So I'm going to say page 2 and just isolate it to page 2. You can change the quality levels you want here. You can click on this so that it'll show the export once you do it in a PDF view so that you can see it. So it'll take a little bit of a second here. It's going to bring up whatever your PDF viewer package is, whether it's Adobe or something else, and so it'll bring that up and show you what it's going to look like. So that gives you an idea of what we've got there too. If I scan back over, you can see there as well. So that gives me an idea of what we've got. So from this, it allows you to very easily take it, send it to PDF, print it out. Or I can just take it right here. I can do the print, select which pages I want, 1 through 6, current page, all of that. However I want to do that, I can send it out to my printer and just have it there for the client. So this is a real easy way to be able to change and work in a dynamic mode with what you've got with SketchUp to be able to print this out and lay out and easily do it for the client. So the key is to have what we'll put and we'll post out there is the template. We'll save the Shelf Genie template 6 so that everyone has access. You'll want to go in first thing and change the website address. You can certainly change the scan the video. You can take that off if you want to, or have it scanned to a different video, or just not have it at all. Those are options that you can do as well. So that really helps us to see how we can take something like this and take multiple views that are dynamic, changeable, put them into layout, and easily print that out for our client. And again, where I find this is helpful, if I've already done this design and I've showed it to the client, and the client says, well, I want to change this to a single, let's add another single so that we've got 2 singles and a double. Let's change the independent riser to just a regular riser, this one to a front riser, whatever it may be. After we've designed it and gone through it and changed it, I can just simply change it here, save it, and then update it in the layout, and it's ready to print out. So it makes it so much more convenient when you're trying to present the information to the client. So hopefully you've enjoyed this. This has helped you to be able to take what you've already spent time creating and present it in a format that looks very professional. Again, it drives the value. What we're trying to do is create the vision, and in the process of creating the vision, we want to drive value to the process, because clients buy when they see the value of what we have to offer is much greater than the price that we present to them. So this is, again, helping us to drive that value so that the cost value proposition weighs in our favor and we can get a chance to help a client out. Okay, so good luck, and look forward to upcoming videos where we're going to show you how to do some next level type editing to be able to really make those kitchen pop kitchens pop whenever you get home if you want to do more in-depth. And we're going to also show you how to do the video side of things. So that will be coming next.